And what dating advice do you have for single mums?
As being a single mom myself years ago, one of the things that I want every single mom to hear is that you are not any less valuable than a woman who doesn't have kids. I remember dating, and I would date guys who would very subliminally and almost in a covert way try to communicate like, hey, I'm dealing with a lot for you. Like, you should feel special because, you have a child, and I'm making an exception, as if there was something wrong with my dynamic. However, what I would say is that you can't date the way you dated before you had kids. And this is going to be a hard truth, because before you had kids, the only responsibility you had was yourself. But you made some decisions for whatever reasons, and you now have a child. Your life is not just your life anymore. Your life is also that child's life, and your number one priority is that well-being of the child. When I had Aaliyah and I ended the relationship with her father, one of the things I had to come to terms with and I had to build my emotional maturity around was that I wasn't just going to be able to date like I did before. And that if she wasn't going to be my priority, and that if no man came around, that I had to be okay with that, because that was a consequence of my actions. I see far too many single moms introducing everyone they date to their children. Your children did not ask to be here. They did not ask to be put in this dynamic. And so their stability, their security, their routine should be the priority, not whether you get a date next Friday. And the other thing that's kind of hard to hear is that as a single mom, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard, because the reality is men are holding you to a higher standard. They truly are. And because you do have another layer to you. And here's where you can set yourself apart though. A single mom is the only time that a man can truly see into the future. If he sees a future in you, he can see what type of mother you are by looking at how you treat your child. So women think, I'm going to go get this new man, I'm going to get married, and they deprioritize, decentralize their child. If this man is serious about you, what are you telling him about the type of mother you're going to be to his offspring? He might not even know it on a conscious level, but you are showing him that you're not going to be a good mother to that child. So he may not even know what feels off, but he knows you're not the one. You're just here for a good time. So what are you here for? Are you here to date? If you want to just date, do it in your own time. If the child has time with the father, you do your dates on that time. But if you are looking to partner and you want to have a marriage, understand that that man he's getting a sneak peek into his future. And so to show that you are a responsible woman, you make sure that that child is the priority, and you work around that child instead of that child just kind of being this like side thing to your love life. And really maintaining those boundaries around access to your child. Because I know this is really hard to hear, but there are men, or there are people who like to date single moms for access to their children. Nobody wants to hear that. So what are you doing to safeguard your child? Because look, we all like to think we're a good judge of character, but like, let's face it, our dating history would say otherwise. So then what are we doing to safeguard our children from predators? And so for me, one of the rules I had was no one was going to meet Aaliyah. You were the first man that I introduced to my daughter, and it was because I knew that I wanted to be with you. You were the one for me. However, and this is super important as well, if Aaliyah didn't take to you, it was never going to work, because she was my number one priority. So when you guys hit it off, it was such a sigh of relief, because you never made her feel like, or to me, it never made her feel like a burden. You had a genuine connection with her. It's almost like you guys knew each other from the beginning. You guys hit it off right away. But I knew going into it, and I remember saying to my sister, like, if Aaliyah doesn't take to him, it's done. Because that's my commitment to my child. Now, for the men, Is it inconvenient dating a single mom? Yeah, probably. But if she's protecting her child and she's not giving you access and she's prioritizing, what is she showing you? She's modeling to you that she is selfless. She's prioritizing her children, and she's going to do the same for you. She's going to take care of you like she takes care of that child. She's going to prioritize you. She's going to respect you. She's all of those things. So these are things you get to see in a single mom that you don't get to see from someone just dating. The sense of loyalty, responsibility. How does she deal with a breakup? Right? Is she vindictive? You got to see inside my separation. You were there when the papers were signed. So you got to see the type of person, heaven forbid anything would happen between us. You know what type of dealings you're going to get, and that I'm going to behave ethically and with love and prioritize my child and your relationship with that child over my ego. And so my advice to single moms is decide that you are so worthy of the greatest love. Decide that your child is the biggest blessing that you can bring into that relationship. Decide that the right man is going to see that. And decide what those boundaries are. What does that look like? And it's funny because I actually wrote down this exact scene. So if you're familiar with scripting, it is where you write a scene as if it is real, like as it's reality. And I did this with a coach before I met you. You were not on the radar, okay? I wrote down hair color. Not that I ever had a preference. Never had a preference. But the specific thing, like, so I was writing down very specifics about things. Not that this was my checklist. This was just a scripting, visioning thing that I just allowed to flow through. But as I was writing, I wrote down that there's a sunset, and I see my daughter on his shoulders, and they're walking in front of me, and it's like the sun is behind them, and we're a happy family. I swear to you, when we got together several months into our relationship, we were shopping near King Street. We were coming down Hay Street, and you put Aaliyah on your shoulders. She was 3. She was giggling, and you were walking ahead of me, and the sunset, and it took my breath away. And I remember messaging, or maybe she even messaged me. One of us messaged each other, but it was the coach who took me through the process. And she said, you scripted that exact scene. Because I got clear about what it looked like. My scene wasn't us at the Eiffel Tower. Our scene wasn't us, building a business. My scene was us as a family. My scene was you loving my daughter. And again, this was before you even slid into my DMs. So I think that that's so powerful. So just to single moms out there who are feeling like it's really hard dating, please be so mindful of who is in your ears. Be so mindful of the content that you're taking in right now, because there are some intelligent, powerful women who I absolutely adore online, but their viewpoint, their view of the world is that men are dangerous. Men will take things from you. Men are not to be trusted. And while they have a lot of evidence to support that based on the content they create and the commentary they provide to trending topics, while all of that is true, I can find equal references of the opposite being true. So what do you want to believe? What do you want to be your reality? What do you want to live out for your children? Do you want your daughter to believe that all men are crap? Is that the reality you want her to live into? Good luck to her dating. Good luck to her finding someone. Do you want your son to essentially hate himself because you hate men? Think about the impact that that's having on your children, your viewpoint, your energy field, what you are accepting as true. So I would much rather believe that men are incredible and great. And I'm very aware of the not great things that they do. but I choose to focus on the good. I'm aware, I'm intelligent, I'm discerning. I trust my intuition now. But more importantly, I choose to see men in their best light. I'm not falling in love with their potential. I'm not praising them for things they haven't done yet, but I am giving them the benefit of the doubt, fully knowing that like we create our own internal safety. And if you move from that, if you navigate from that position, then you will find a man who is willing to love you, willing to see you in all of your light, and excited to be the man next to you.